On to the main event, David Benavidez versus Anthony Yarde, a fight that doesn't really feel like the main event. Norman and Haney feels like the main event, but I feel like it's because there isn't a mystery with Benavidez. You know it's going to be fun to watch. You know it's going to look good. And I think most people figure he's going to win. He's a minus 900 favorite. I think Anthony Yarde needs some help. He needs David Benavidez to either have been partying in Miami, overlooking him, or having a brutal weight cut, all of which are possible. But if that's not the case, no disrespect to Anthony Yarde, who will have a chance, especially with his left hook, because Benavidez could get overzealous in the pocket. He starts. Andre Ward was trying to tell him earlier this year, you could dominate guys with your lead hand. If you try to rumble with those two-fisted, sexy Benavidez combinations too soon, you're actually a little easier to beat. But if you were more lead hand dominant, oh, you would dominate these guys that much better. So I think it'd be wise to heed Andre Ward's advice from earlier in the year for the Morrell fight for this fight. Use that jab a lot. Yarde isn't the kind of mover that Morrell and Caleb Plant and some of the and Vosdick were. So you should be able to get the jab off a little bit more. He's not going to make you pick your feet up as much. But I think Benavidez wins inside of 10 rounds. I mean, this is one of the special offensive fighters in the game. Dudes his size rarely have his level of hand speed, and I think he's gonna close the show and show why he was the headliner, even if we're not anticipating his fight like we are the co-main event.
Benavidez is the favorite, and for good reason. But let me tell you how how Yarde could do this. The knock on him has been his lack of technique. His talent really hasn't been honed and shaped with the fundamentals. And he is constantly reaching beyond his grasp. He's going to Russia to fight Kovalev in his backyard. He's fighting Beterbiev when he had a 100% knockout ratio, and nobody thought that was a fight that was wise to take. And neither one of those times was he successful. And in each one, though, maybe he learned. And the moment isn't too big for him. And the pressure doesn't belong on his shoulders. And it's like if you keep going to the well, if there is in fact water in it, you're going to keep dropping your bucket deeper and deeper. You will hit that liquid that you need at some stage. This might be the time when he does the thing that finally no one's really giving him a decent shot to do. It is his weight division, and it is the favorite who is once again coming up to meet the challenge at this division, which we don't really know what Benavidez is doing at 175 pounds. Now, I don't have any reason to think he can't compete at this weight or that's going to be a challenge, but we don't know. And Yarde, comfortable at the weight, the moment is not too big. He's been denied when he's been outmatched before, but been, competitive. The fight was fun to watch as long as it lasted.
In the sixth round, I think, of their fight. He hurt him.
That's what I'm saying. So this isn't a nothing guy. This isn't a walkover fight. This is a guy who it just keeps being just out of his reach. And on the night, it could be all of those things that we look at as negatives to finally turn into a positive, and he pull the upset. It's not impossible. I don't know what his punching power is. I know his punch resistance is solid. Like he's got a chin, and it's been tested.
But he's not chinny by any means either.
Right, but it's been tested at 175, and like you say, granted, he got stopped, but he was able to hurt his opponent in each case, and he is comfortable taking punches at this weight from guys that are that powerful. So maybe, and it's a long shot, I understand it, but maybe it's his night on Saturday. Maybe he's the dark horse that brings into the thing something that none of us see coming because he's been unlucky and outmatched, not just luck, in his previous two attempts to reach beyond what we believe his potential to be. If he's absorbed those losses as learning lessons and he is approaching this fight with full confidence and calm and ease, maybe he finds a way. And I am not taking off the table, as big an underdog as Yarde is, that he could potentially find a way with all of these different elements coming to bear on Saturday night. I don't know where Benavidez's power is at 75. I don't know if Yarde can make him uncomfortable. Maybe it's Yarde applying effective pressure. Yarde is a solid, thick, heavy-handed 175-pounder who is believing that he's here to take difficult challenges. Maybe this is the time that he really does do the thing that nobody thinks he can do. That's the only way it works. I get that that's me reaching, but that's because I'm talking about a guy who has spent his career reaching. Maybe this is the time. It's just within his grasp, finally.
Or
It'll
maybe
be a hell of a story.
he said his third time might be the charm. I thought of Eric St. Lubin against Virgil Ortiz 2 weeks ago, where it was his third chance at the title, and this Chicano monster, this Mexican American monster, because Benavidez right now is a part of the three-headed Chicano monster. Two of them are fighting on this card. Little Bam Rodriguez, who is not great, he's an artist in the ring. He's the best fighter on the card, and young Abdullah Mason might be right there next to him one day as the best fighter on this card. But today it's Bam Rodriguez, and yeah. So shout out to those that triple threat Chicano monster right now. I got the problem for Anthony Yarde is, and what's funny is I was watching him the other night in the Better BF fight. He was boxing clean for 2 rounds, and then in the last 30 seconds he got wonky with his mechanics. He like threw a he started shadow boxing. Like he started doing little Floyd Mayweather moves. That's like, no, you're in the fight now. Like your actual boxing, you're angling off behind your jab. Like it was working. And then you try to get like I'd have to have been sitting next to you to show you exactly what I was talking about. But it kind of blew me crazy because he immediately got pounded on and coughed up the momentum he was building early in the fight. And then to his credit, in the 6th round, a few rounds later, because it looked like this is a testament to Yarde's character in the ring and his power. It looked like Beterbiev was about to run his ass out the ring. And then all of a sudden, 5 and 6, Yarde stabilized himself and hurt the champion. And so that showed power and durability and shows you, to your point, he's no chump. And Benavidez knows that, unfortunately for him. Benavidez has given him the requisite respect. I don't think he's overlooking him. And I think Benavidez gets his first stoppage at 175 by accumulation. I think Yarde will start huffing and puffing at some point, and that hand speed and that pace and volume is going to be a lot.
Yeah, you say what's the word you used? Compilation.
What was that?
It's combination for me.
Yes.
I think the combination punching from the outside, this has been Benavidez is going to land punches at the end of his shots. And if Yarde cannot avoid taking 2s and 3s, he's going to get beat up bad in there. That's a big if. But that's the problem. That's the monster of the monster. It's the fact that rapid fire, hard shot, end of the punch. If the monster is dictating the distance, the combination punches are going to be landing, and it's going to be a clinic.
Yarde will have a chance in between. That's what I mean. This is part of Yarde's chance too. Is if Benavidez gets a little overzealous too early and wants to throw those 6-7 punch combinations, Yarde can catch him in between with something big. I think that that's something he'll have to weather the storm. But if Benavidez is trying to get him out of there early and is trying to cook him early, he's going to have to find an opening in between the storm.
I think the order of things might have to be a little different. It would have to be Yarde who upsets the table from the beginning. If he can have some success early and get Benavidez off of his rhythm from the beginning and make Benavidez start pressing or reaching for it or trying to get back into his rhythm while Yarde is disruptive, then Yarde can start punching in between shots as
I
well,
see it.
and we can see this thing swing the other way.
I see it. Touch,
Yeah.
come out, touch him with a jab to the body. Make him start having a lower, just fuck with his rhythm with the jab to the body. Start touch, slow it down a little bit. Now he's pressing. Now it's like, hey, I'm supposed to be the boss in here. I'm supposed to, and now I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So all of these things, again, are desires to make the fight more competitive, to potentially see a shocking underdog do it on his third time of being overmatched. But those are all wish lists. The reality that is likely to unfold is that we will see a very dominant David Benavidez. We will see him show why he's avoided at 68 and potentially a major threat to the undisputed champions at 75. Why he can potentially be the face of boxing. And I don't think there's going to be any more faces of boxing for years and years on end. I think there's a face of the year. Terrence Crawford is the face of boxing in 2025. David Benavidez might be the face of boxing in 2026. And Bam Rodriguez might be the face of boxing in 2027. Like, that's how boxing's going to go from here on out. You might be able to hold your face in front of everybody else's for 6 to 12 months at the most. And because these fights that we were getting are so consistent, the matchups are so great, there's so much talent now impacted in different weight divisions, that face is going to keep changing. And that's the best thing you could ask for the sport. But right now, David Benavidez has to carve out his real estate. And this is the fight to do it. This is the fight to really say, I'm serious at 75, and I'm the guy to beat. The only guy without the belts to beat is me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think what you're seeing in Benavidez is an elite fighter, a pound for pound fighter who just hasn't had the chance to fully prove it yet against Canelo, Bivol, or Beterbiev. I think that's what you're seeing. I think he is elite. He's in his prime right now. He just hasn't gotten the opportunity to prove it to the utmost. So that's what I think you see Saturday night. And I think if he handles, now there's a chance again, brutal weight cut. He either loses or looks flat. And then he's talking about after the fight, yeah, the weight's tough, and I'm going to move up to cruiserweight to fight Zerto. That ain't it. What he has to deliver is his first stoppage at 75 and even make the doubters who may not have liked him because they liked Canelo, or they don't like him because it's a lot of hype and he hasn't beaten he's beaten good fighters, but hasn't beaten an elite quality opponent. Whatever the grievance is with Benavidez, this I suspect is the performance that makes even them go, you got to give him a shot. You got to put him in there with Bivol. The trilogy can wait. That's the assignment, not just winning, but getting the first stoppage and making the entire boxing public, whether they are Benavidez people or not, say, yeah, it's about that time. You got to give the kid his shot. The man, he's not a kid anymore. He's getting close to 30 and still has been denied of his chance at that real fight. I'm expecting him to turn in a performance that he can't be denied. Oh, went muted for a second. No.
No,
But now I can.
that's weird. He's always been the guy to this point that's chasing the guy to beat. And there's nothing more satisfying for that guy to be the guy to beat. This is what he has to prove tonight. It's always going to be Bivol until he beats Bivol. But like I said, he has to say, I'm the guy at 75 to beat without the belt. Nobody gets to Bivol yet through me. So I'm the person who deserves that challenge, and Bivol won't swerve me like Canelo. And I was the guy to beat at 68 when Canelo was champion. I was actually the guy to beat. And that's why the champion wouldn't give me a shot. If he can make that state, that there's nothing more satisfying to a perpetual top contender than to prove that he really had the championship medal all along. And that's why he was swerved. That is what's on Benavidez's mind. And that's what's at stake on Saturday night. It won't go the entire way of proving it, but it will make that statement. And I wouldn't mind seeing Benavidez fight
Beterbiev.
Beterbiev first and then Bivol.
Let's
I
go.
want to. That's really the road I'd like to see him
Me
take.
too. I'm with that. I'm with that. That's his 2026 mapped out. First half Beterbiev, second half fight the champion.
That's how you become the face of boxing in 26.
And I'll conclude with this. At the end of the night, we'll all agree that Norman and Haney was the main event fight. But we will also agree that David Benavidez was the main event fighter. That's what he'll do. He'll prove he was the headliner. So, thank you, Raheem.
Well